Hi my lovelies and welcome to this replenishing yoga flow. So this class is going to be perfect for anyone who's feeling a bit under the weather, anyone who might be recovering from a cold or the flu, which I know has been like going around a fair amount. So you might just want to grab hold of any props that you regularly use. If you've got a bolster or a pillow, you might just want to grab that. Also, this is a practice that's going to be super friendly if you want to keep a pair of socks on, keep a big jumper on and keep warm. Feel free to do that as well. Have a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee with you if that's what you want, as I have. And when we are ready, we will get started. We're going to get started down on our backs. So just coming to lie down. And I would suggest at this point to take restorative rest. So allowing your back to come down onto the floor and taking your feet a little bit wider than your hips and then just dropping your knees together. And from here, just allow yourself to really settle in. So if you could make yourself just 10% more comfortable, what would you do? Ask yourself that question. So it might just be picking up the head, picking up the shoulders and placing them back down. It might be an adjustment of the feet, an adjustment of the knees, but just finding somewhere super comfortable. You might even have a small pillow that you'd like to put under your back, like a thin one if that's something that feels comfortable. You're just coming to rest here and taking the hands maybe onto the belly, maybe palms up either side of the body, whichever feels most comfortable, whichever position you feel called to. And then when you get here, just starting to ground down. So seeing if you can really allow the body to sink down towards the mat, sink down towards the earth, and taking that focus, that attention into the breath. And we're not judging the breath here. So if, like me, maybe you're recovering from a cold or the flu, maybe you've got a cold and the breath doesn't feel, as clear as it might normally do, there's no judgment on the breath here. Just breathing in a way that feels as natural and as comfortable for you as possible. And letting those breaths just sink you further towards that mat. So we inhale, breathing in. As we exhale, just allowing the body to feel really heavy. Just letting go of any of that tension. Just taking a few more breaths here. Noticing how the body's feeling today, how the breath's feeling today. Maybe the mind, the headspace feels busy. So just simply noticing here. And then when you're ready, we're going to start by coming into some super gentle supine twists. So just taking those knees apart. And you might at this point just open the knees out wide for a second, take them back together, take any movement that feels natural here. And then drawing the feet back to hip distance, so just stepping them in, dropping both of those knees over to the left, and seeing if you can keep the right shoulder down towards the floor. And the hands can stay on the belly. You can take this super gently, or you can take the hands out to cactus if that feels nice, or a T shape, and maybe you drop the head over to the opposite side, so dropping the head over to the right. Just taking a second to pause, neutralizing out through that spine. Again, just staying with that breath. You might have the eyes closed here. Maybe they're open, again, whichever is calling to you. And just taking a nice big releasing breath here, so breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, just letting go. and then ever so slowly when you're ready, just moving over to the other side. So just peeling those legs up, taking the head back through center, and then slowly dropping both of those knees over towards the right. Head again might stay in center if that's more comfortable, or maybe you drop the head over towards the left. And seeing if we can keep that left shoulder grounded towards the mat. So again, just a few breaths in. And then coming in to take that releasing breath, so breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, just allowing that body to sink, grounding down, and then ever so gently peeling back up, taking head back through center, and just drawing those knees in towards the chest. You might take the arms, the hands around the knees, and just take a rock from side to side. So just noticing that spine connecting down towards the mat. Almost like a massage on the vertebrae as you move from side to side. And then taking those hands just onto the knees and starting to find some movement. So using the hands, just pushing the knees away from the body, and then opening the knees out towards the sides, and then drawing them back in and round. So we're just drawing circles with the knees. So just taking 3 in this direction. And you can make this movement as slow, as fast as you like. Just noticing that opening through the hip space here. Noticing any tightness that there might be. And then changing direction. So opening the knees wide and out to the sides, drawing them back together and then in towards that chest. So again, just taking 3 at your own speed, your own pace. And then when those knees are drawn back in towards the chest, you might just take the hands behind the thighs, and we're just going to gently roll up. So you might find some momentum and roll a few times here before coming up to seated. It might be that you just use the hands to help you up. If the rolling feels nice, take a few. And then just coming up towards seated. So coming into a cross-legged position. And from here, cross-legged, just starting by taking a nice big stretch. As we inhale, just reaching those arms up towards the sky. As we exhale, palms together, Anjali Mudra. Push those palms together, just drawing them down through heart center. Maybe just taking one more inhale and really stretching, lifting those arms up. Exhale, just drawing down. And from here, just taking the left hand towards the right knee, taking the right hand behind you. Inhale, take a nice breath in. As we exhale, just find an easy twist. So just twisting around towards the right hand side. And it might be here that you just take a really, really gentle twist. It might be that you end up with that gaze behind you. But again, this is a replenishing flow, so just taking it easy, taking what you need. So we inhale to find that lift, exhale to find the twist. Taking just one more inhale here. As we exhale, just gently letting go. Taking both hands over to the left and just finding a small counter twist. So you might push down towards the floor. And then coming up, just finding the other side. So taking the right hand towards the left knee, left hand's behind you. Inhale, breathing in, finding that length. Exhale, finding that twist. Just staying with that breath. It's just one more breath in here. Exhale, release. Just coming back towards center. From here, just taking a gentle side stretch, so taking that left hand down towards the mat. It might be that you take the forearm down eventually, but as we inhale, we're just going to sweep that right arm up and over. And just taking that gaze up towards that right hand. So it might be that you stay up on the fingertips of that left hand. The left hand might come down completely. Maybe you come down nearer towards the forearm. whichever feels good for you, whichever is working for your body on this day. Just feeling that gentle opening through the right hand side of the body. So nice long line of energy through the fingertips, hand, through the arm, all the way down into the torso. Taking one more inhale. As we exhale, just coming back up through center, taking that right hand down. Next inhale, coming to the other side, left arm sweeps up and over. And again, just taking that gaze up towards the left hand. Staying with that breath, noticing that opening, this time through the left side of the body. One more inhale here. Exhale, slowly coming back up. And taking the legs out long. So just taking the legs out in front of you. And it might be, if you're somebody that normally takes something under your seat, taking a forward fold. If you've got a thinner block, you might do that. If you've got a cushion or a pillow, you might choose to do that as well, just to give you a little bit of extra lift. And we're just going to come into a Paschimottanasana. So just starting here by taking a wiggle through the feet. And then flexing the feet, so we're just engaging through the legs. Inhale, drawing those arms up above the head. And as we exhale, just folding forwards. And we want to keep the back as straight as possible. So just coming down as slowly as feels comfortable. Taking those hands down. So you might take them to either side of the feet. You might even rest the hands onto the legs. And just keeping the back nice and straight. So we're lifting through the crown of the head. We want this idea of moving forwards and not down. Just staying with the breath here. Noticing that stretch through the legs, through the hamstrings. And knowing that we're doing so much more here by keeping that back nice and straight rather than curving and allowing everything to fold down. So nice active Paschimottanasana. Again, just taking a releasing breath, so breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth as we exhale. Can you just sink into that forward fold that tiny bit more? And you might also just allow yourself here to undulate. So if you've got the hands either side of the legs, as you inhale, you might have these small, just micro movements in the body where you lift. As you exhale, you fold. So every breath that moves through the body, just allowing this small movement to come in. Just inhale, peeling up. Exhale, folding. Keeping that gaze, that drishti towards the big toes, keeping the feet flexed, engaged. Taking just one more inhale here. Exhale, starting to roll up through the spine, releasing through the feet. You might take a wiggle of the feet, wiggle of the toes, and then drawing the feet in and taking soles of the feet together. So we're going to come into Baddha Konasana, and we're going to come into Baddha Konasana C. So this is a variation where we allow the back to round. So through that forward fold, that Paschimottanasana, we had the back nice and straight. This time we're really going to allow ourselves to sink into the pose that little bit more. We're going to be a little bit less engaged. So this is kind of more of a yin posture than it would be done in a normal vinyasa class. So I encourage you, if you've got a pillow or a bolster, to grab hold of that. So I've got my meditation cushion here. And to just take that cushion onto the feet. So instead of having the feet really close up into the groin, just allowing them to be a little bit further out. So we're creating more of a diamond shape. And taking that cushion on top of the feet. Maybe if you've got a block, you take a block as well. It's just self-assessing what feels good for you. And we just want to feel as supported as possible. So taking the hands, we're going to take them palms down onto the mat and just slide them underneath the calves, underneath the ankles, and take an inhale here. And as we exhale, just allowing ourselves to round, allowing the back to curve, and allowing the head to rest on whatever support you have. And it might be that you don't need the pillow if you're working with a really open body. Maybe you can rest the head directly into the feet. but just working out what the best pose for you is, where feels comfortable. So all we want to be feeling here is just a very gentle pull through the groin, through the hips, closing down through the eyes, just really allowing yourself to rest. And again, whilst you're here, just noticing how the body's feeling. How's the breath feeling? Just always asking yourself these questions throughout the practice. Checking in. Just taking a few more breaths here. When you're ready, ever so gently peeling that head away. And from here on, you can keep your eyes closed if that feels good for the rest of the practice. Just moving those hands back towards you. Removing any props that you might have. And just using the hands to draw those knees back together. And then to take the legs out long and to come to lie down in our Savasana. So just really settling in, again, making yourself really comfy. So the same way you did at the start of class, if you could be just 10% more comfortable, what would you do? And it might be that you take a bolster under the knees, if that's a position that you usually come to. If you've got an eye cushion, you might choose to use that. I've got a really beautiful one here from Studio KNOGA, which is scented with lavender. So if an eye cushion is something that you use, something that you like, it might be beautiful for this moment. And again, just being comfortable. So there are no rules here. Our Shavasana is our time to relax, reset, restore. So just staying with that breath. And just coming back to that idea of replenishing. So we're giving this time to our body. Period of rest. Noticing as well if Shavasana is a period where the mind becomes busy. We can often find it difficult to switch off. And just knowing that that's completely normal. So just having that awareness is really important. So option to stay here for a little longer if it's where you're feeling comfortable. Just taking any of the time that you need. You're ready to slowly start to come out. Allowing that next breath to move through the body, and as it does, just taking a wiggle through fingertips, through toes, through the outermost edges of the body. Next inhale that we take, just taking a stretch overhead, maybe you interlace through those fingers, and just reach the arms long. point through the toes as if you're waking up first thing in the morning, just coming back to that physical space. Removing any props that you might have, and just rolling over onto one side. Curling the body round. Taking a few breaths here. Starting to just notice other things that might be going on around you. So the noises of the house, smells. Just gently bringing the body back bit by bit, and then eventually using those hands, keeping the eyes closed, and just come up to a seated position, somewhere that's comfortable. And just taking those hands, palms up, maybe on the thighs or the knees. And taking a second of gratitude just to say thank you to yourself for finding the time to practice. And then we also say thank you to the amazing lineage of teachers that have come before us. Taking a big inhale in. As we exhale, breathing out, gently fluttering open those eyes. Just coming back to the space, back to the room. Thank you guys so much for practicing with me today. I hope this was a really gentle practice and one that you can come back to if you're feeling under the weather or just feel like you need something. It's a little bit softer, a little bit more replenishing. Please subscribe to the channel. There are going to be new classes every week now, and I really hope you enjoy them. Let me know.